Welcome to the Property Management Success Podcast, where we interview leaders in the industry to uncover the secrets to profitability, efficiency, and achieving true freedom, whether it's your time, money, or lifestyle. I'm your host, Tony Cline, and I'm here to help you build a wildly successful property management business. Let's get to it. Welcome back to another episode of the Property Management Success Podcast, here with Mark Brower for our second episode of the day recording.
Astute viewers will notice that I'm wearing the same shirt I was wearing on the last episode, and they'll conclude that we record two of these at a time.
Yeah. Okay, so in the last episode, we talked about something, and this is something that I have been leaning into for the last couple of months, and I'm excited to talk to you about it because it's just an odd conversation. I read a book called The Comfort Crisis. And in that book, they talk about, there's a tribe, and I can't remember who it is. You're expert at quoting books, so I will let you look it up and then tell me what tribe it is.
Okay.
But they think and talk about death 3 times a day. And because they do that, it's normalized, and it becomes a part of life, and they celebrate people. And so I just, after reading that book, I got to thinking about, I really want to be intentional. And this connects back to what we were talking about with the connection, the one-on-one, the one-to-one connection. And I was having a conversation with our friend Pablo Gonzalez.
Yep.
And I told him, I'm putting on this event in Keystone in July.
I want to go.
And there's only 13 possible seats. And we're going to have six coaches. It's not sold out yet. If you want to come, I'll send you the information. But I was telling him about like why I wanted to keep the event small and what I wanted to do with that. And it's going to be at a luxury estate, fully catered meals, all of this.
Say no more.
Well, I'm going to. But the reason I want to keep it small is I told him I'm not looking to fill the church pews. I'm looking for my pallbearers.
It's at a church?
What's that?
I thought you said it was in a luxury estate. It's at a church?
No. I'm saying as a concept.
Metaphorically.
I'm not trying to fill the church pews. I'm trying to find my pallbearers. I'm looking for the people. I'm looking to build connection with the people that I know that will carry on my mission for me or with me after I'm no longer able to do that.
You're looking for disciples.
I don't know if I'm looking for disciples, but I'm looking for people that I'm going to carry them and they're going to carry me, and we're going to work together. We're going to work as a group to help each other accomplish what we want to accomplish in life.
Love it.
And so I started thinking about, and this is probably a little bit morbid for some people that don't think like this, but I'm out here in the middle of the desert running hours and hours. You know, you run from sun up to sundown, and then you do it again 3 or 4 more days in a row. And so you're out there a lot. Just by yourself with your thoughts. The first 70 miles I'm running by myself before you can pick up a pacer. And I thought, I really want to be intentional with who my pallbearers are. I've been talking about this with Pablo, that's the kind of relationships I want to create. But I started picking out, when I die, who is going to be my pallbearers, who I want there.
Oh, you're talking actual pallbearers, like the people holding your casket.
Yeah, I'm talking about...
Oh, my gosh. This goes beyond business. That's deep, man.
It is deep, but I think in business, if you have those kind of relationships in business, I know I can pick up the phone and call you at a moment's notice.
Oh, you're inspiring me so much right now. Like, seriously. If like, what an elevated vision about the nature of the relationship that you want to have with people. I'm inspired. Keep going.
Yeah, so I was thinking, and I can list out the names of the people that I have for my pallbearers, and it's those deep relationships that it's. I kind of want to have a competition to see who can make the list, right? But it's that kind of thing. I want to create better and better relationships. That one-on-one that we were talking about before. I don't need 100 people sitting in the church pews that come and then go to the house or go to an event center and have some kind of Italian, a potluck or whatever they do, and then go home on their day and say, well, that was a nice service. And then they move on. I'm looking for the six
Funeral
people.
casserole. You're not just looking for a funeral casserole procession.
No. And I know that the Italians, they have a really great spread. My wife's Italian. I mean, the caprese salad is going to be fantastic.
You're
I
gonna
know
miss it. You're gonna miss it, dude.
I won't be there. Somebody will enjoy it. My pallbearers, they're going to love it. It's going to be great.
Okay.
But the reason why I got so excited when you talked about that in the last episode was those are the relationships I want to make. And we have in business, especially men, I think we have a hard time making those deep connections, and so we suffer alone in silence.
100%.
We suffer personally, we suffer professionally. You know, there's some stuff I got going on in my business that if I wasn't able to share that with folks, and have somebody help talk me through it, I would just be suffering and miserable because I want to grow past this.
Yeah.
And
Gotta have that. Go ahead.
so I'm talking literally building
I
those
love
types
that.
of relationships.
That's really inspiring. That when you talk about that, Tony, not only does it ring true to Tony Cline, you know, that's my experience of you. That you live intentionally, you connect deeply, things matter. Like you are looking at the one. And I think it's no mistake. I'm gonna toot your horn for a second. I think it's no mistake that a few years ago you were mentor of the year in NARPM, you know, because you care about the one. And yeah, I don't think about that. I don't think about death 3 times a day like the Bhutanese people.
Oh, nailed it. Is that who it is? Or
Yeah.
did you just make it up? Because I wouldn't know.
No, and yeah. Listener, go look it up. No, I don't think about that. I mean, I'd be lying if I said it didn't come into mind recently a little bit. I'm 47, and usually I look around the room and I'm like, oh, I'm above the average age here now. This is weird, right? So, you know, the reality of our mortality sets in and starts speaking more loudly to us as we progress. But what a fantastic way of, that's it, man. That's it. I'm ranking people in my life. I'm gonna let them know, dude, you're on the bubble. You're almost into
You're in the gray area.
You're almost in the top 8. You're 9. You're 9.
Yeah.
We need to hang out some more. You're trending down on the pallbearer list right now, dude.
Yeah. You moved from carrying my head to now your midsection. You know, the foot is the only place left to go before you're off the casket. But yeah, building those kind of connections, and then being there for them too. Like, what can I do? And this is the part that is a little bit more of a struggle for me. I know the people that have meant enough to me to be there to help me carry my casket, carry me on to my final mission, so to speak. But I also want to be on their list because I want to have that impact, that one-to-one that you were talking about. I want to have such an impact on somebody that they say, at my death, I want you there with me to lay me to rest. I mean, that's the kind of connection.
It's the ultimate honor. It is absolutely the ultimate honor. And you know what? I'm gonna try to be vulnerable here and admit that I've never felt, yeah, maybe that's sharing too much, but if I could be vulnerable, I've never felt really worthy, you know, beyond maybe my brothers, you know, my dad, my mom, of course. But beyond that, who am I, you know, to be a pallbearer for somebody? You know, and maybe where I'm at on the frontier, that for me is I need to be able to love people well enough and connect with them and trust them enough that I would want them to be my pallbearer. So and that unlocks that feeling of worthiness that I can connect with them at that level. I think there's something there. I aspire to that. That's really cool.
Well, I will tell you, so Scott, who you're going to meet in the Grand Canyon, he's one of my pacers. He's the medical guy from the last episode that told me, if you keep running this, I'm taking the van and going home and wishing you the best of luck, but I'm not going to be here to watch you do this to yourself. Because when you have AFib and trying to run another 50 miles up over the top of a mountain, he just knew. Like, he was calling it for me.
Yeah.
And I'd already made the decision, but it was nice that he cared about me enough to say, I can't stop you if you want to go, but I'm not going to be a part of it
Yeah.
because he
That's
cared
really
about me too
healthy.
much.
That's healthy. That's so
Yeah.
healthy. Like he didn't say, "No, you're not doing it, damn it. You're
Yeah.
stopping now." He respected your agency, loved
Yeah.
you enough to not be there for it.
Yeah. So he's on my list. He's one of my pallbearers, and he knows it. And there were times out there in the race where I literally laid down on a rock. This was on that hangover hill I was talking about. And I basically just hugged. I was about 7.5 miles into a 15-mile stretch. My leg was throbbing. Like I had no power in it. It had swelled up. I had pitting edema. You could push your thumb into my leg and it wouldn't push back because it was just so swollen. And I remember just, I wanted to be alone, but I wanted him there with me because I was suffering so much. And I just hugged this rock and I put my head down and I just kind of sobbed because I knew I was 7.5 miles in, one of the hardest sections that I had done so far because I was doing it basically with one leg. And I knew I still had 7.5 miles to go. And then I still had like 70 miles to go after that. And it was just nice to know that I could be as vulnerable as I needed to be in that moment with him. And then after I kind of got it all out, we got up and we carried on. And those are the kind of people that I want.
Oh, he was there.
Oh yeah, he was
I'm
side
thinking
by side with
like
me.
he's like the metaphor is he's the rock and you're crying on the rock. No, he was there personally watching
Yeah.
this happen. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Being
Man.
there, being quiet when he needed to, supporting me when he needed to. And anyway, so this episode hasn't been a whole lot about business, except for the fact that we need these relationships personally, and we
Dude.
need these relationships in our business. And that's why I've created this summit in Keystone where I want to bring people together in a small enough group that they're able to still have impact. We're still having the 6 coaches plus myself for up to 13 attendees. And because we're bringing it together in such a small group, we're going to have that space for that vulnerability and true growth. Because you know what it's like to go to a conference. There's 300 people there. You listen to the person on stage. You
It's
take
like
some notes.
it's like the many. It's like the
Yeah.
many. It's like you're lost in anonymity, and it's like more gratifying to actually just hang out in the halls and have one-on-one conversations.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, Tony. I'd love to hear more about that and possibly be a part of it if I can swing it.
Well, that is, yeah. So that's my tie-in to our first episode and the one-to-one. And
When did you decide Scott was your pallbearer? Like, what's that process like for you? Like, because here's why I asked that question. I feel like at a certain point, we kind of almost like decide what people mean to us. And I don't know, I don't fully understand what that's all about. But I think it ties into this idea of the one, you know, like spending time with the one, focusing on the one. Like we unconsciously or consciously make decisions about how deep we're going to go with somebody. And I think those who struggle with feelings of lack of worthiness or maybe have, you know, emotional trauma or, you know, like I think there's things that are blockers to having really intentional deep relationships which keep people on the surface. And I think that's correlated to like trying to like, you know, spread wide and go like only 2 inches deep versus like, hey, I'm actually, you know, I'm actually going to go as deep as this person wants to go because they could be one of my future Paul. This could be like a lifelong colleague friend, you know, that like gets close to pallbearer status but never cracks the top 10. Like,
yeah,
how do you decide? How do you just do you decide that like oh, I'm really connecting with this person, they don't know it but we're going to be really good friends? Do you like kind of take ownership of that, or like how does that work for you?
So I think so. I'll share with you how I met Scott. I ran during the Triple Crown. So this was in 2023, summer to fall. I was looking for a pacer for the Bigfoot 200, which is the middle race of the 3. And I didn't have somebody there. And my coach had a connection that's somebody that lived out in Washington State, and just said, if you're looking for somebody, I can put the 2 of you together. And so we had a little Zoom call, and that was my introduction to him. and you never know what it's going to turn out. I had another guy that came out that helped, and we connected, and we had a great run. He paced me for, I don't know, probably 40, 50 miles. And then that was it. And I've followed him on Strava. We've texted a few times. He won a race. He did a backyard race, won that, and
Wow.
and we've shared. But he didn't quote make the list of the pallbearer, and the reason for that is, when I was running with Scott, we had deeper level conversations. So it's not about the length of time I know somebody. It's about how deep, and eliminate the layers of BS. The talking about the weather, talking about the kids, talking about, like, really talking about deep stuff that's impactful, that matters to me, that matters to him. And he helped me get through Bigfoot. And, I hugged him when I crossed the finish line. Like, he ran me into the finish. And he wasn't yet on the list, I think. We had made a connection, but he wasn't on the list yet. The following year, he ran Tahoe. And we had stayed in touch. We'd been texting back and forth. But the following year, he ran the Tahoe 200, which is one of the 3 Triple Crowns. It's the first race. And he called me during that race, and he was struggling. And he's like, I don't know what to do. I can't keep any food down. I've been throwing up for 12 hours. It's super hot. I'm moving really slow. And that mutual vulnerability back and forth is what made it be on the list. Like, he trusted me with his race. And I know if you're not a racer, it might not have that impact, but find something that you care a lot about. And he impacted my race, and then he gave me the opportunity to give back. And then I helped him finish his Tahoe race. I was in touch with him throughout. I actually offered to come out and pace him, but he said he had enough on his crew, and then one of the people on his crew blew their knee out during the race, so he could have used me, and that's kind of how the phone calls started. But it was really just, I took it to a level, and then he took it to another level deeper, and then out at Cocodona, we took it to another level, and it's beautiful when you can just say, here's what I'm struggling with, and you can either help me or don't help me, but I just need somebody to share that with. And I think as men, we're supposed to know everything. As business owners, entrepreneurs, we're supposed to know anything or everything. And so to be vulnerable with somebody that you can have real conversations with, that's what gets you on my list.
And then you decided, or it just happened organically when you realized it one day?
Yeah, I realized, like, out of all the people I know, this is one of the deepest relationships I have.
Wow, that's great.
So what I would say to the audience here before we get them out of this aid station, I don't know if this was creepy or depressing or inspiring, but
No, it was great. It was really inspiring. It's
I
a
would
vision
say,
for the depth of relationship with one person, and that's what life's all about.
yeah. And you can have that in more than just one person, but that's that one-on-one that we're talking about, right?
Yeah. That's
So
where
I would
all the
encourage.
magic happens. That's where all the transformation happens. That's actually where the exponential growth happens. And it's counterintuitive that when you go focus on the one and you harvest that relationship with the one and you mutually impact each other, it's like you hit a vein of gold and it just can open wide
Yep.
open.
All right. So before we get you off the trail, I'm going to tell the listener, being vulnerable, go start making a list of the people who you think are your pallbearers or could be, and start leaning into those relationships. And the deeper you go, I think the more rewarding life is. And when you are struggling, to have somebody there that can support you, and vice versa. I mean, whether I'm the one getting the support or giving the support, it's very impactful and energetic and meaningful to have those people. So go find them.
Love it.
All right, Mark, get us out of here.
All right, get back out on the trail. You're doing great. You're all hydrated. You've got the pep talk. Keep your sodium electrolytes up, and we'll see you at the next aid station.
We'll see you then.
Thanks for tuning in to the Property Management Success Podcast. We'll be back with another value-packed episode to help you level up your property management game. If you've got something valuable out of today's episode, please share it with a friend or colleague, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a review so you never miss out on future insights and strategies and tactics. Until next time, here's to your success.